his chest. He tore it up. I don't know if it was lifting or practice yesterday or whatever it is, but that's obviously not great news since, you may not realize it, but opening week in the NFL is less than 4 weeks away. So this past Sunday was 4 Sundays until the NFL returns. So if he's going to miss a couple of weeks, it's going to be tough for him to be in game shape if he's going right into the regular season. Next up, we had defensive end Derrick Barnett, who is, quote, week to week. So not as quite, as bad as Hargrave with a couple of weeks, but week to week with a guy who's supposed to be a starter at the defensive end position and really going into a make or break type of year in regards to his contract. He's going into his 5th year, I believe it is. So unless he puts up some big numbers, the Birds will probably let him walk at the end of the year. And then on the offensive line, Jason Peters didn't participate, but that's fine. It's JP. He can do whatever the hell he wants. It doesn't matter if he's, practicing here the first couple of days. But I think Andre Dillard missed some snaps or was unable to participate, which meant Jordan Mailata was getting first-team reps at left tackle position. So that's not a great omen to start things off. Obviously, they moved Peters to guard, throw in Dillard at the left tackle. He wasn't fantastic out there last year. And then starting off this year, day one, not great yet again. So hopefully Dillard picks it up and he's not a turnstile come week one against Washington, who's got a good defensive line. So that's certainly something to look out for here over the next couple of weeks. But one other newsworthy note I have here is Jalen Hurts, backup quarterback. He actually got, I think it was 4 less reps than Nate Sudfeld. All the communication has been coming from Dougie P that Sudfeld's the number 2. It's not a quarterback competition, but really when it comes down to it, reps mean a lot during practice. I mean, they can say one thing, but if you're getting the same amount of reps in practice, it's clearly a competition. That's what they're telling you by their actions. And the fact that Hurts on day one only got 4 less reps than Sudfeld clearly means that they think Hurts is the future above Sudfeld. And yes, day one, he may not know the offense. He may not be able to run it as well as Sudfeld, but they're working to get him up to speed. And I do believe if Wentz goes down for any sort of extended period of time, we're going to see Jalen Hurts out there. I mean, if Wentz goes down middle of the third quarter and we need somebody to kind of finish, I think you may see Sudfeld in there just due to knowledge of the overall offense outside of the 2-minute drill and in those types of red zone situations. But if it's going to be a month, 6 weeks, whatever it may be, Jalen Hurts is going to be the guy. So for everybody out there going, why are you taking him in the second round? He's not even going to play. He's not even going to be second string. He is, man. He's going to be out there on Sundays. He's going to be getting action. And, look out for Jalen Hurts as the backup quarterback when things, turn out this fall. I wouldn't be surprised if Sudfeld doesn't even dress a couple of Sundays based on the way the roster plays out there. But on the outside, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside didn't practice. He missed reps early on, which is certainly disappointing for a guy who was very, very bad his rookie year. And, this, again, if he's as bad this year as he was last year, I don't know if he's going to be on the roster come 12 months from now. So we got to get him out there. Rager's looked good. Deshaun's out there. Goddard looked good. Ertz, what are they going to pay Zach Ertz? Travis Kelce and George Kittle both got paid. So now we're looking at, Zach Ertz being up next year. Can they keep Ertz and Goddard? Goddard's contract's coming up here in the next couple of years. What are you looking at there? Do you move on? Those are long-term decisions we're not getting into here, but certainly something to think about as this year progresses and potentially how things play out and guys are performing. So just a few quick tidbits out of the first 2 days of practice. Haven't heard much out of today yet in regards to what was going on there, but day one, that was a takeaway. Jalen Hurts. And then on the outside as well. So what we got now, hopefully here, looks like if you're watching on YouTube, my buddy Ken's joining the show. We're letting him in here, so give us a brief moment to try to set this up as we're live. While we're doing this, head to social media. Check us out, 2Close2Call Sports, Usala Media, Usala Radio. Ken, is that you, my man?
I'm here.
What's up, dude? What, you don't want us to see your pretty face? What's going on?
How do I make it pretty?
Yeah, right. You got to put on that beauty filter, right? It's good. So, there
how we doing? There we are.
What's up, man? Looking good. Haven't seen you in a minute. Welcome.
Just taking a dub for the Fly Guys.
That's it, man. That's it. So, like I said just briefly before, my buddy Ken Gray joining the show. Been a hockey guy his whole life, played the sport. I never played. I always enjoyed it. Had buddies that played. But with the Flyers taking a 3-1 lead here, man, what a better time than to hop on. How we feeling? We're winning a series since 2012, right?
I feel good. I feel good. I was a little nervous at first. Carey Price is a stud, but you just got to keep peppering him. He'll let a couple in here and there.
Yeah, he gave us a bounce today, right? Myers from the wing there, dude.
Hey, I'll take it. All you got to do is throw the puck at the net and see what happens. Stranger things, right?
I'm with you, man. I'm with you, dude. How you feeling overall? We've been outscored 6-5, and we're up 3-1. Does that not show you that hockey's a dumb sport right there? I mean, come on.
Hockey is the greatest sport for playoffs you can imagine. You get 7 games to show who you really are, and the only ones that matter are the games you win. You could lose 10-0, it don't matter, but as long as you come back and win game 2, game 3, game 4, you're good to go.
I'm with you, dude. I was worried after game 2, though. That 5-0 shellacking, game 1 was kind of a steal from Hart there. And then games 3 and 4, obviously, they get back on track. Montreal can't score, dude. So what happened there from game 2 to game 3? Like, how do you let up 5 and then all of a sudden the team can't put the puck in the net for over 120 minutes? Was it a coaching adjustment? Was it, players
I'll tell you
kind of
this,
picking it up?
the start of it is they beat 3 of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. Boom, 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 boom.
Right.
Then they go out and they beat up on Montreal. We feel ourselves. We're reading the press clippings in Philly. We know what's going on. We know we're good. And then they go out and they got to take one on the chin. You know how it is. You got to get put back in check. And
Sure.
here we are. Here we are winning 2 more straight. Sure, I'd like to see more points on the board, but you got to take it where you can take it.
Yeah, that was really the first time after game 1 where the local media, the radio shows, everybody kind of started talking Flyers, kind of getting on board, everybody back in the bubble. Hey, are they good? Time off? Where are we? And then, like you said, they just smoked the top teams. And all of a sudden, everybody's feeling themselves. So I'm with you, man. I think that's more or less what game 2 was. Hart scared me a little bit. He can be like that sometimes where he just gets off his angles a smidge. But obviously, shutting the door in game 3 and 4 closed the argument there in any way.
Kid's a stud. I mean, I don't know how far else what else I can say. The kid's a stud. I mean, he keeps the puck in front of him. He knows what's going to happen before it does. He's ready for rebounds. He's ready for deflections. He's ready for shot tips. That's the coolest, calmest 22-year-old I've ever seen play between the nets, between the pipes.
Dude, it really is, man. And honestly, the first time, I'm 31. So for the first time in my entire life, I'm watching these games and it's 1-0 in the third. It's 2-0 today in the third. And I just don't have that uneasy feeling of how are they blowing this one? Or, this one's going to go in with 30 seconds left. Like Hart's rubbing off on me as a fan to just be like, dude, we got this, man. He's good. He's Carter Hart. Like, relax. You know what I'm saying? It's weird, bro. I don't know that feeling as a Philly.
It feels good, right? I mean,
right?
We're typical Philly fans. We're winning the Stanley Cup. We're not even there yet. Like, I'm already carrying the trophy down Broadway. Social distancing, of course.
Of course.
But when you start a third period and you're down and you're up 2-0, 2-0 is the hardest lead to keep in hockey.
Yeah.
There's been plenty of times where you've been up 2-1 and boom, or 3-1 and boom, it's 5-3 before you even know it.
Yeah.
And for him to have the patience between the pipes like he does, it tells you how well Hextall worked on him and got him where he was, being such a baby.
Sure.
I mean, the kid's what, 22 in 5 days.
Second round pick too, not even one of these top guys back in the draft. I know there's kind of fluctuation on, do you take goalies early, do you not? He was kind of during the not period, which made him fall to the second round. And now you're watching this going, how the hell is this guy the 42 overall pick in the draft with the way he's performing, man? It's wild. But defensively in front of him, extremely solid, of course. You got Provy, Niskanen doing their thing. Niskanen, he's wavering a little bit here since he's been back in the bubble.
He's serviceable.
He is, for sure, dude. And he's never been a problem this entire year. And then just there have been a couple hiccups here where for the first time I'm going, yo, Niskanen, figure it out. What are we doing here? He was out of position the one game on the the penalty kill goal. Then he had a turnover the other time. But overall, he's fine. The second pairing, Myers and Sanheim, they're both studs. I mean, that's got to be locked in for years to come, dude. Those guys are huge back there. You can't get anything around them.
Look at what we're talking about. Our first 4 defensemen, we got no issues.
Right?
5 and 6, I'm still serviceable, right? I mean,
Yeah,
and you
that's
throw
where
Ghost, you
that's
throw
where
Goss in there on.
where do you got there, Ghost and Hag? Where are you at on that? We haven't had that conversation.
So I miss Ghost rookie year, sophomore year. Hag blocks a lot of shots, gets a lot of penalty kill time. You don't hear about him on the penalty kill. Hear no, see no, or no problems whatsoever. If you don't hear it. No news, good news. You know what I mean?
Right. Sure.
And I like no news is good news. Ghost, I need him to come back. I need him to get on. I need to get him on the board. I need him to get some shots in there. I need him to have a stud day. It's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, he was excellent in that play-in game against Tampa, which kept him in the lineup for game 1. It was, I believe, against Montreal. But I mean, his risk reward, man, is so frustrating, I'm sure, from a coaching perspective, because it is from a fan perspective, because you get the passes and the assists like he had to Lawton that one time from the boards. That was just electric. But then kind of in game 2, he's getting pushed around and beat up in front of the net. And, you know, it's a heavy game in the playoffs, man. And especially if they move forward and get these Bostons, these Tampas, I don't know if you can run Ghost out there, man.
One of my biggest attributes for him is his size, right? And his other big issue, and you know this about Goff, Goff's played on the 6 inches between your ears. Well, hockey, not
Right.
much different. You know, you're pressing, you're pushing, holding the stick a little too tight. And just to move a little bit from Ghost to the power play, when you're 1 for 27, you're holding your stick a little too tight. I mean,
yeah, we're getting
you need to,
we're getting
you need to get a tall drink of scotch or something and take it easy after the game, you know, or maybe even pound down a Miller Lite before the game, get rid of those nerves on the power play, because it's a dumpster fire back there, my friend.
Yeah, they got to move somebody right here. We can't keep going Provy at the top, go Giroux on the wing, Couturier in the front, Voracek on the other side, and connect me, right? Like, do we mix up personnel? Or do we mix up like positions? Do you throw Giroux on the other side? They did that a little bit during the regular season to no avail, really. But you got to do something here, right?
Here's my hot take.
Oh, let's go. I dig it.
You put Giroux and you put Voracek on the shelf, and show me Couturier, Konechny, Provorov, even Ghost if you get him moving, and surprise me with another winger. Give me Lawton if you want.
Yeah, do you give Lawton some time? Maybe Raffle some power play one time?
I'm okay with Raffle. He had a good game tonight.
Yeah, what's your take?
Any worse?
Before we get to commercial here, what was your take on the lineup change going from games 3 to game 4? You put Giroux with Grant on the third line there, quote unquote third line, but if you look at the box score, they actually played the most amount of minutes. And then you had Raffle back on first line, down from the fourth line. I mean, I was surprised personally when the game started, because we get nothing before the game nowadays with this bubble.
No,
so,
you got a foot injury or an upper or a lower, and sometimes they're just a healthy scratch. With Elaine moving around the lines like that, I like it. You know, you're trying to generate offense. You've only scored 2, 3, 4, 5 goals in this series so far, and 3 before tonight. You got to juggle it somewhere. You got to see where you can get hot when you can get hot.
Yeah, it's fascinating. But hey, man, we got to go to commercial. You'll hang on through commercial. We'll keep
as
talking.
long as you'll have me.
Yeah, let's do it. So let's pause right now. We'll head to a word from one of our sponsors. But when we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Ken Gray, talking Philadelphia Flyers. So I am Ken Mihalik. This is 2Close2Call Sports. We'll be right back, everybody.
I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. And even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, Maria, and she convinced me to continue my education. Just never judges. She's a true role model.
From the depths of my heart, I thank you, Maria, for being a friend and a beautiful person. No one receives a diploma alone, and I'm honored to share this moment with you. Thank you.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I can roll into that. Whatever you need.
Right. Simple stuff.
Yo, this is awesome.
It's cool, right? Let's do it.
Ready.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to today's episode of Too Close to Call Sports here on USLA Media and USLA Radio. If you guys are checking this out on the radio, head over to YouTube. We got some video up for you. You can watch me and my buddy Ken Gray on right now. Kenny, what's up, dude?
Kevin, how we doing, man? Good to see you, bub. It's been a little while.
Man. Likewise, man. I like the digs. Where you at? You got a new crib back there? What's good? Was it a projector?
No, it's a 75-inch Samsung there.
Jeez, baby. Whoo!
We watched the Bird games on that one, and we watched the, what do you call it, games when I can't really see it. There's another 50-inch behind the bar.
Yeah, a little bar.
We watched
nice.
we
some
watched
Fly
the,
Guys. Yo, I'm coming over to your game here soon.
Whenever you want, buddy. We could do a little podcast action from here. Just bring your mic.
That's right. We'll hit it up here. But we wrapped up that first segment talking about the lineup changes from games 3 to 4. Giroux going from the first line down to 3. Raffle. We talked about all that. But one last thing I wanted to get to here before we kind of move on is JVR out of the lineup. What's your take on JVR, man? Because they get him out of here. I'm done with him. He brings nothing. He can be a Seattle Kraken tomorrow, and I'd be all good with it, dude.
Well, what's his deal? Is he hurt? Was he healthy scratch?
I mean, game 3, right? So he's got to be healthy.
He's had next to zero production in the whole thing. He's played, 6-7 games?
He's in the doghouse for some reason, man.
What's he doing? Is he not going to meetings?
Not doing anything.
Is he not
right? That's the point. I'm getting nothing.
Why?
Guys, why do you $1 million?
Why do you bring him back? Why do you bring him back? What do you do?
It was under the old coach, right? That's the only thing I can think of is like the old system. Maybe he fit more with Hextall and his thoughts because apparently the way Coach V and his style of play,
you don't like him.
Can't figure it. Like they don't jive, man. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm with Coach V, man. I'm watching this game 3. He's turning the ball over, a puck over on the power play left and right, and I'm done with this guy on the fourth line. Give me somebody who's going to be an energy guy, hit somebody, win some battles. He's too pretty, man.
If you're a on and off depth chart, scratch, healthy, hurt, scratch, whatever, and your plus minus is negative, I don't want to hear about you.
Right.
If you got a +3, +4, and you're a borderline fourth line, third line bench guy, I'll talk to you. +3, +4, but you're showing me nothing here, man. You got 3 games in the playoffs. You haven't shown up to any of them. So let's just keep on the pine.
Right. Bearing injury. I don't think we're going to see him anytime soon here. But hey, man, games 4 to 5. We got a back-to-back here. Travel from Montreal to Philly, back-to-back. No, seriously, right? I'm telling you, hey, these were 2 road shutouts for Carter Hart, right? If you want to write them down in that category.
I thought about that earlier. Could you imagine right now if we were in Montreal listening to that noise when he shut him out for 120 minutes?
Hey, the Flyers are 5-0 as the road team and 1-1 as the home team in the bubble here. So it flipped from the regular season. They couldn't win on the road, man. But all right, are they wrapping it up tomorrow? What do we got here? Hey, another 1-0 game. Montreal can't light the lamp, or are we going to get game 2 tomorrow? Because Montreal is going to be desperate, and we all know how elimination games work.
I originally thought 6 games just because of how tough Carey Price is. I mean, he's a stud. And he's been around a while. Been a lot of playoff games. To be honest with you, in game 5, if Montreal learns how to shoot or figures out how to shoot, we might be in trouble. Honestly, it might be going to game 6 because just today alone, I mean, there was about 8 or 9 missed shots on wide open nets, and no fault by Carter Hart. Defense not clearing out, bad shots, tips, whatever. But they learn how to shoot, man, we're in a whole different series here.
Yeah,
I
Hart's
like them
making 'em
tomorrow night,
snipe.
though.
Hart's making them snipe because they hit what, 4 iron in game 3, 5 posts or whatever it was. So they're trying to pick, man. But so you're telling me it's going 6. I had my buddy Alex Smith on last week, I believe it was, talking about it. We went 5.5 over under, a bit of scotch on it. I took the under. I took 5. I wasn't feeling good after game 2, but now I'm kind of feeling myself again here, man.
So I'm going to go the under with you. I think they wrap it up tomorrow back home here in Philly. It'll be a little bit of a long trip back here, but I think it'll be worth it. Get some rest for the long weekend before we get into the second series.
I mean, you got to like that, right? You shut them out 2 games in a row. Hey, let's keep playing. Let's play right now, right? I mean, Montreal, really no time for adjustments, right? Like, it's got to favor the orange and black there.
And that coach is going to be juggling everything: defensive partners, power play, penalty kill, anything he can do to get a little bit of a spark under his team. And Shea Weber better show up. I'm actually happy to see him on the other side of the blue line. He could have been a flyer.
12 and 128, or what was it? That crazy contract. Woo.
Oh boy, I mean, he's going to be old as Mario Lemieux by the time he gets out of there.
I'm with you, man. And then, he was traded there from what? Nashville is who originally matched it. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, hey, perfect world. They wrap things up tomorrow. If not, hey, whatever. They do it in 6. No problem. Either way, we're moving on. And we are the 1 seed, like you talked about, since the round robin, right? And the NHL had decided that they're going to reseed every round, and it won't be a bracket style of format, which leads it, if you look at the other 3 series going on in the East, Boston taking care of business up 3-1. Tampa taking care of business up 3-1, although that looked a little tricky early on, but they seem to have stabilized. But the other one, man, the New York Islanders up 3-0, a chance to close it out here in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm going to be honest, dude. I haven't seen any of these games. So what's going on? You assume Ovechkin is going to at least win a couple. What's the deal here?
So, yeah, you remember the New York Giants when they beat the Patriots when they were 18-0 in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
The number 6 seed, nobody cared about him. Eli, he's over. Tyreek, not Tyreek Hill. The catch, the immaculate catch. David Tyree, there you go. Yeah. You can't count them out, right? They're hot, and they're hot at the right time. And it's so interesting how they could be hot coming off such a break like they had. What does that tell you about your coaching, right? And that tells me, their coach tells them, hey, it's all about the little things. You go out there and you do your job, and the big things take care of themselves.
Yeah, because they were a playoff team last year, ultimately lost to Pittsburgh in the first round. And then this year would not have been a playoff team, right? If less the expansion, or are they the 7 seed? I
think 7.
So they would have made it again, but like a wild card style of thing. But like,
right.
I don't know, man. And then you look at it and you go, okay, cool. Obviously, if I could pick between Washington and the Islanders based on the seedage, I'd take the Islanders. And then you actually look into how the Flyers matched up with these teams, and they worked Washington. And then the Islanders were 3-0-1 or 4-0. I mean, the Flyers were 0-3-1. They got 1 point in 4 games, man. Does that mean anything? Should I be concerned if we're getting the Islanders here based on what happened?
So one thing you got to understand about hockey is there's regular season hockey and then there's playoff hockey, right? You could potentially face off 7 times.
Sure.
You throw all the statistics out from the season. I don't care if you scored 200 goals and had 300 assists. It doesn't matter. It's a whole new season. You're in it for 3 months at this point. And, if you're hot, you're hot. And the Flyers are just as hot as the Islanders. I mean, I don't think Montreal Canadiens are a schlub team. I really don't think Washington's a schlub team either. Sure. But Washington's a little older. You got Yoshi out there. Holtby's getting up there, the goalie. Ovechkin, he won a cup. What else does he want? I mean, he partied with that thing more than I've partied in my entire life. And
hey, I would have.
I don't think
justified.
Absolutely, but I don't know if he wants to party again that hard. He just don't look like he has the jump in him.
Yeah, dude. But you touched on it, man. Barry Trotz for the Islanders behind the bench, just putting in work for them. So I guess when you prepare for a team, this is kind of a bigger, broader picture. And I guess just maybe an opinion on it, but like, how much do you prepare for like a team specifically, right? So if they move on to the Islanders, would they go back and watch the film of those 4 games and say, hey, this is how they beat us, this is what they're trying to do? Or would they look more on the film of, hey, this is how they beat Washington and this is what they're currently doing?
I say you go back and you look at the film no matter what, regular season. But then in the playoffs, you're all in the same hockey rink. You're all playing at the same place. You go out there and you watch the games like you were 16 and juniors and midget league hockey when you go to a tournament away and that you got
Sure.
12 teams in the building, and if you're not playing, you're there watching a team you might play. And I've seen it before, and I've seen a lot of the players standing around at the M ports before their game starts, before warm-ups, whatever.
Yeah.
And you take note of that, and it also brings a lot of youth back. Like, how cool is that right now for these guys that have been playing hockey their whole life and haven't been away at a tournament in the last, we'll just say 8, 9 years.
Sure.
And now they're there with all the boys, and they're all friends.
Right.
Sure, not on the ice, but they're all buddies.
Yeah, dude. How about last week's episode? I talked about what would have been a fantastic, like 24 to 36 hours for the Flyers in the bubble would have been, I think it was Monday, watching Montreal eliminate Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh would have left like the next morning, like Tuesday morning. And then Tuesday night, they beat Tampa to clinch the 1 seed. And I'm like, yo, that balcony area, like I'd be testing that echo, man.
Helping them pack their bags on the way out. See you later, boys.
Right? Like,
it's a long ride home. How you doing? Keep it moving.
Right? It would have been fantastic. I could only imagine the chirp going on, right?
Hockey boys chirp the best. I mean,
right?
they it's 60 minutes of in each other's face no matter what, and they're talking.
And I love the mics, dude. I mean, the no fans thing. Where are you at with that? I mean, they're doing the best they can. You hear a little bit more. I kind of enjoy it, actually. Obviously,
I want
to go to the game, the home game, but I like it.
I want to see them mic'd up. I want to hear what they got to say. Like, I know me and a couple of my old hockey buddies would love to hear the chirp game of some of these guys. We would be crying, laughing still from some of the stuff they said during the game,
Here's something for you, and this is kind of off kilter, but the last couple minutes are perfect. It's completely relevant. Would you pay to watch that in a game? Like if HBO was like, hey, $5.99, everyone's mic'd up, you get it live. Like, would you pay to watch that? Because like I have that conversation in football all the time. They do the NFL films afterwards. I was like, I would pay to watch these guys live and chirp live.
So it's funny you actually bring this up. One, yes, I'd pay $9.99 a month for
premium, right? Like,
I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm in. But I've actually had this conversation with my wife about a concept idea that I could try to sell to Comcast or DirecTV or whoever, where it's an app that you actually get into on your internet or your TV, and you check the box that you're over 18, and you can hear curse words.
Yeah,
I'm so into that.
Yeah, they have the plus or the gold, right, or whatever it is with Comcast. Like,
call it platinum. And
I'm with you, dude. I've talked about that with some other people in some other sports. Going, yo, HBO, I'd pay $8 to listen to these linemen go at it all day, like live. Yeah, like kids, okay, go away. This isn't Fox, like that type of thing. So I'm with you.
And I'm even okay listening to the refs jaw back and forth with the players, because that's just as good too,
Oh man. And dude, have you seen the baseball where the Nationals keep getting tossed from the stands? Have you seen these videos?
No.
Dude, so the next day's starting pitcher is in the stands because he's not in the dugout. He's not doing anything. Well, you can hear him chirp about the strike zone. Like, and they rung him twice. Literally, it's effing HS, like as loud as day, right over the broadcast. Like, oh, it's fantastic. He's like, you're gone here. That's and you're like, oh, well, I heard that one on television.
Yeah, that was worth the $8.
Right. So I'm with you, dude. But hey, so Flyers in 5 or 6, and we're moving on to the Islanders. We talk once a week here, so if we don't have you on next week, the week after, how we doing against the Isles as we get out of here? You're feeling good in that matchup, even though 0-3-1 is staring me at the face here off the paper?
6 games, Flyers take a dub.
Okay, all right. And then you have Boston and Tampa. Who do you want in that one? Who are we seeing in the Eastern Finals?
At that point, I want Boston. It's just Tampa Bay. That's not a hockey town. I mean, come on.
That. I'm all right.
They got a couple cups. I get it. Marty St. Louis was a stud, but I want to go. I want to go chop down Chara. I just can't stand him.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. But hey, dude, thanks for coming on, man. This was
Hey, man, anytime. This was awesome.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Hopefully the Flyers can keep winning so we can keep chatting hockey here.
I like it.
Couple weeks, because if not, dude, we got to go right to football talk. I'm digging the hat. We'll have to have you back on talking.
Let's go Birds.
That's it, baby. So everybody out there, we appreciate you listening so far. We're going to head to another commercial break here with Too Close to Call Sports, Usula Media, Usula Radio. Come on back. We're going to let Kenny go, but we're talking Sixers, man. That's all I got to say about that.
Good luck with that, Kev. See you, brother.
All right, man. We'll see you.
Yeah, hit me up, man. Did I do okay?
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Right? You trying to come on the pod here for a minute? Yeah, come on on. Let's have a talk for 15. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the third segment here, just past 6:30 on a beautiful Tuesday evening out there. We're finally getting closer to fall weather, cracking the windows, turning down the AC. My wallet is very thankful with that electric bill finally coming down. Hot damn, was it a hot summer? But, man, so shout out to Kenny Gray joining us once again, my buddy, talking Philadelphia Flyers. They got a half hour. It's awesome. I mean, they're the only team kind of worth a damn in this town right now. So I touched on it here. We're going to transition into Sixers basketball chatter. My producer behind the glass here, Mr. Niall, where we're going to have a conversation. Niall, what's up, man? You can hear me, right? Yeah, buddy. What's good? So, hey, man, we're talking hoops. I needed to bring you on because I would just talk and stutter and sputter and just be so gosh darn frustrated for 15 minutes. But I mean, dude, JoJo goes out 5 for 5, 10 points early on. He's cruising, and then 10 shots the rest of the way. Like, are we putting this on Joe? Are we putting this on Brett Brown? Am I putting this on Shake Milton? Like, why are we not feeding my man the ball here? Right. Yeah, I need to get that 40. Sure. right? Could be over sooner than later, man. But like talking about Brett Brown, and this is kind of like just looking at the box score. It's never this simple, but sometimes it is, right? Like first quarter, they're up by one. Second quarter, they lose by seven. Okay. Third quarter, you win by 10. Fourth quarter, you lose by 12. So clearly, pregame and halftime adjustments, Brett Brown is doing just fine. But those in game transitions from quarter to quarter, where you don't have time to sit down, think about it, talk it over, they're struggling, man. Like, why is this team fourth quarter after fourth quarter after fourth quarter just blowing ball games? Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you, man. And at the end of the day, or the end of the game one, you saw Gordon Hayward went out with an ankle injury. Well, that MRI came back. It looks like he's going to miss about a month or so. So he'll certainly be out the rest of the series, which again kind of comes back to how do the Sixers respond to the roster change on the Celtics side? Because you would assume Marcus Smart enters into the starting lineup since he was the sixth man playing, 30 plus minutes as well, which means you have one less forward and one more guard out there. So if I'm the Sixers, I obviously, okay, first of all, this kind of a roundabout, but dude, Thibault cannot come off of Jason Tatum ever, whenever he's on the floor. I mean, dude, Tatum had 4 points and was 2 of 9 shooting against Thibault and had 28 points on 8 of 12 shooting against everybody else guarding him. Like, I don't need to know anymore. Okay. Thibault, you're on him. Don't move. Right. So that means he's starting, which then obviously Al Horford, he's got to come off the bench, right? Like you got to go guards. With you. Yeah, dude. And how do we cut down on turnovers? I mean, 18 turnovers leading to 21 points. The Celtics had seven, which led to seven. I mean, there it is right there, man. But turnovers, I've been saying that for 3.5 years now. It's been a different roster. It's been a different, it's like, dude, and Embiid's, I mean, he's a little to blame. He was struggling, kind of rotating the ball out of the post there on some of those traps and whatnot. But it's just like, man, this team is so frustrating offensively because of, like you said, the potential is there. They just can't seem to find it. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Right? Like, dude, today at practice, Joe down there, you guys run at him. Like we got to be doing something, man. Right? Like, if that happens in game two, I'm just, I can't, man. I can't. Right. I need Joel to, channel his inner Cat Williams and use those peripherals and get out there and know where the people are at, man. Like I know you tunnel focused and how to get a bucket, but the peripherals, come on now. Like I'm weird. Oh gosh. But I know it's one game, it's frustrating, but it's a lead up from the whole bubble, like here we are, good spurt in the third quarter. I'm feeling good. And then in the back of my mind going, this doesn't end well. We know how this ends. We've watched this movie 7 times now. Like how do we change it, man? I don't know. It's frustrating. So, oh goodness gracious, gosh darn Sixers, man. I'll tell you, like this is where we're at. So let's wrap up the last 3 minutes. I don't want to get too negative here, but like if this kind of goes how it's going, say they lose in 6, lose in 7, are you blowing the whole thing up, or are you just moving on from Brett Brown and Elton Brand? Kind of where's your head at, big picture here? If they don't win the East, I guess we'll even go that far. They come back, they beat the Celtics, they beat the Raptor. Like where's that line, man? Yeah. Okay. Right. Sure. Yeah, you heard Joe say that on the one podcast, right? Did you listen to that interview talking about how he misses JJ and even Butler? Dude, that's where Butler's hitting me right now, man. Because even last year, it's like, yo, we need a bucket. Who we going to? And it's like it was Butler. But how do you feel about Tyron Lue? Are you a fan of Lue's? There's been rumors, he's the hot candidate out there. Potentially may have Chauncey Billups on the staff as well. There's been no connection to the Sixers thus far, but that's the guy who everybody apparently is going to be going after. Yeah. Nope. Not anymore. Not anymore. Oh, I'm muting all those posts. I'm muting every one of them I see. I don't care. House of Highlights. Who else? Right? Season Sports Center. I'm done with it. Done. Yeah, done. Man. It's just the injury thing, man. Like another year, another injury. Like Brett Brown. They're like, what do you want? Like if I'm Brett Brown, what do you want me to do? One of my best 2 players is out again. I'm supposed to beat the Celtics and then the Raptors. Like this is my fault, But it's like, sure, right. right? We're right where we started pre-process for this, for this. Oh, I'm with you. Where do you stand before we get to our last commercial break here on this is where one of the last times Brett Brown where I was just like, dude, I can't. It was the out of bounds play where they were down 6 with like 40 seconds left and Embiid had the 35 footer, the 40 footer, and I'm going, we couldn't have drew that up, dude. Like, and one of my buddies I was talking to this morning goes, I'm okay with that. Embiid set, he can make that shot. And I go, then why is the defense giving it to us? Like, if our first or second option is what the defense wants us to do, we got problems, bro. Like, you can't, like, oh, well, they were covering everybody else. I said, yeah, because they wanted Embiid to shoot the damn ball. Like, that a screen. Oh man, I was hot. That was the last one where I was like, yo, we need a three. And you're giving me JoJo from 35. Like, yeah, you can knock it down, but you're telling me we can't get a higher percentage shot. You can't draw up anything better. So okay. So you're all right. You're with me there a little bit. That makes me feel a little. Oh man. So no, that was fun, Niall. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for talking through that with me here. I needed that one. That was a therapy session for my sick. Tell you what, but yeah, we'll pause right now for one last commercial break here, and then we'll wrap things up, and we'll come back and talk about those Phillies, 8-9, hanging in there. Baseball, hey, let's talk about it. We'll be right back, everybody.
I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. And even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, Maria, and she convinced me to continue my education. Just never judges. She's a true role model.
From the depths of my heart, I thank you, Maria, for being a friend and a beautiful person. No one receives a diploma alone, and I'm honored to share this moment with you. Thank you.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
That's the one everybody's like, yo. Welcome back, everybody, to the fourth and final segment of Too Close to Call Sports here at Usula Media and Usula Radio. We've had a great show so far for you here today. Talk to my buddy Niall here, producer of the show Behind the Glass, talking Sixers. We had Ken Gray on the first couple of segments, talking Philadelphia Flyers as they're up 3-1 now, and they're going to win a playoff series, it looks like, here for the first time since 2012. So, Niall, what were you doing in 2012, man? Where were you at? There you go. So that was the last time what could happen tomorrow happened in the world, man. Right? Like, whoo, boy. I'll tell you what. So, oh, man, that'll be fun. The Sixers, they're struggling. But the last couple of minutes here, let's round out our Philly professional sports conversation. We're talking Philadelphia Phillies, who find themselves 8-9. All right. They had a day off yesterday for the first time in about 2 weeks or a week and a half here. They started 1-2. then had the few days off due to the coronavirus outbreak. And since that time, they're 7-7. So they're finding their way. They're trying to figure things out, but there's good news ahead. All right. So I was doing some research here, right? So we're 8-9. Well, we got 2 games coming up against Boston and 2 games coming up against Toronto, who are the 4th and 5th place teams in the American League East. So you got to take at least 3 out of 4 there. But then you get 3 against the Braves, which would be a total of 7 out of 10 already against Atlanta. And here we are, August 18th. Again, 60-game season. We're 17 games in here. And we're already done with the New York Yankees, right? So the divisions are playing each other this year. We probably haven't talked about it in a couple of weeks, but the NL East and the AL East are only playing each other, right? So they're only playing those teams. Well, the New York Yankees, who are above and beyond fantastic, and we're done with them already. We had our 4-game series. So we don't see them for the next 40 games, which is excellent. And then the Braves, after this upcoming weekend, we then see them the weekend after that, which will be August. Where's my calendar? Here you go, 28th and 29th. But for the entire month of September, they don't play the Atlanta Braves. And the Atlanta Braves are the clear favorite. I just combined Braves and clear there for Braves. The clear favorite for the NL East, right? So going into the tail end of the season, the most important part of the season, and 2 of the best teams are going to be done on your schedule. I mean, that's fantastic, right? Just looking at it here, you're going to have a lot of the Mets, a lot of the Nationals, a ton of the Marlins, again, because everybody has a ton of them coming up here. So you have to feel good about yourself that even though we're 500, not where you want to be, flirting with the playoffs, we've played a lot of the tough competition already, and things should start to stabilize themselves. So big picture here with the Phillies, I mean, offensively, they've been very good. They really have. The numbers I have in front of me are as of, after Sunday when they shut things down. But they had a tremendous week last week, starting off with Rhys Hoskins, who, thank God, because he had been struggling mightily. Well, he finally responded by going 8 for 26, 3 doubles, 4 RBIs, and 7 runs scored in 7 games. So he had his first, fantastic week in 19 months, going back to 2018. He struggled all of last year and then early on this year. And he hit a 3-run double on Saturday night to right center field, which was amazing to see because all this guy does is pull the baseball. And the stat I have here, he's ended a plate appearance 9% of the time going the other way. So literally 1 out of 10 times he's hitting the ball that way. And he got a 3-run bases clearing double that way, which that's the only way you're going to be a good hitter. I mean, if you want to hit 226 and pull everything, be my guest. If you want to hit, let's see here. What's Bryce Harper hitting? If you want to hit 364 with home runs to left field and using off fields, that's how you do it. If you want to be JT Realmuto, who's hitting 300 with 8 home runs and 20 RBIs, how many of those are to right center? At least 3 out of the 8, probably more than that. So you're clearly seeing the guys behind you in the lineup have success using the entire ballpark. It only motivates you to do so yourself. So finally, Rhys Hoskins is thinking up the middle, thinking right center. I mean, he had a fastball that he finally got beat on a little bit because he was thinking the other way. And it's like, that's where you have to start, man, because if you pull everything, your front shoulder pulls completely out, which means the outer half of the plate, you have absolutely no power, right? So your power is dictated by the front shoulder turning into the hip rotation. And if your front shoulder flies out, your hip rotation is completely compromised because all of your torque, energy, momentum has already been utilized. Therefore, you cannot hit with power the other way. If you start with the lead shoulder and the hips go, but the shoulder stays in. This is what Bryce Harper does. It's absolutely fascinating. I couldn't do it as a hitter. I would love to be able to do this. His lower half and upper half are completely disconnected, right? Like, yes, inside they look connected, but if you watch him outside, he throws those hips, which is why you'll see him like fall towards first base almost, and yet he drives the ball to left field because what happens is, I mean, think about a rubber band, right? So the hips go, the front hip opens, and your shoulder stays square. The elasticity between your trail shoulder and your front hip is now stretched to as far as it can go. And as a rubber band, you let go, right? And it comes back together. So that's exactly what he's doing. He's throwing that front hip, making his body stretched as much as possible, and then he allows his upper half to catch up once he dictates where and when the swing is based on the pitch. So the lower half goes like this no matter what, and then the upper half can go this way, but due to that torque, he's able to hit the ball with power. If you throw that front shoulder out with the hip, there's no elasticity. There's no stretching of the rubber band there. I mean, think about it. I know you're doing it in your living room right now, like I'm doing it on YouTube here, but that's exactly what happens, right? That's how the power hitters do it. You watch the front hip compared to the back shoulder and the stretch of the elasticity, and then boom, it snaps. It's so much fun to watch. Watch Fernando Tatis Jr. hit for the San Diego Padres right now. This kid is unbelievable. Watch Mike Trout. It's just fantastic. You can draw a line on the screen and you'll see it just kind of stretch, and then it'll catch up to it. So you use the upper half of your body to use the entire half of the field, and it's what Harper does extremely well and what we need Hoskins to get into here. So offensively, though, as a team, they've been great. The Phillies, they're 5th in the majors in batting average, 3rd in on-base percentage because Hoskins is walking, 3rd in slugging percentage. I mean, it's a good offense. I touched on it. Rio Muto's hitting the ball. Harper's hitting the ball. Didi's hitting 295. Alec Baum, 286 since he's been called up. So it is a deep, deep offense. It's the pitching staff that is holding this team back, and the bullpen specifically, because our number 1 and 2 starters, Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler, have been fantastic. 2.05 ERA, 2.81 ERA. Jake Arrieta, Zach Eflin have been okay in the 3-4 role. Both of their ERAs right around 4. And then we have Spencer Howard and Vince Velasquez trying to be the 5th starter, and both of them have given up 7 runs in 8 innings for an ERA of 7.88. So 1 and 2 starters, excellent. 3 and 4, okay. Number 5, not very good. The bullpen, a huge struggle. I mean, Alvarez has been good, but outside of that, there hasn't been a lot of positive things to talk about. But they got 2 with Boston coming up here tonight and tomorrow. Boston is one of the worst teams in the bigs. I know, surprising. If you haven't been following along, usually they're really good. They're not this year. So we got to take advantage. Toronto, trying to rebuild. And then you get 3 with the Braves on the weekend. Hopefully you take 2 out of 3. But even if it's 1 out of 2, you take 3 out of 4. And all of a sudden, hey, where are we at? 11 and 10. And then we're at 12 and 12, and we're hanging in there and we're past the Braves. So, oh man, but that'll wrap things up for today's episode of Too Close to Call Sports here in partnership with Usala Media and Usala Radio. If you haven't done so yet, follow the podcast Too Close to Call. We post all of these episodes on the podcast so you can listen to them on demand wherever you are. Also check out Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Too Close to Call Sports, Usala Media, Usala Radio. We're on there across the board where you can stay up to date with all the latest news and information. But for right now, I'm your host, Kevin Mihalik, signing off for this week. We'll talk to you guys again next Tuesday. Peace.